Bwah, 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 bwah.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Jedi Academy. Because we did not see that there was two episodes released. Noah did. Noah is the one that
I
is on
did.
top of
Noah
Yep.
is
everything
the
tonight.
true Jedi of the night. He
He
understood the
is.
assignment and took it down.
Got to give him
Yeah,
credit
I
where
would
it's
have
due.
to
Absolutely.
say these are my probably favorite two episodes of the season so far.
For sure, episode
That's
7 is
good to hear
definitely
because
one
you
of my
haven't been liking it
favorites.
so far, right?
Yeah.
Except for the Gunji, I mean the cameos of the
Yeah.
people are cool, but it just hasn't like gripped me into it like
And you
last
think
week
these
episodes.
last two
Oh
have
yeah, they
definitely
were.
they got you hook, line, and sinker now.
So
Yeah,
you want to know where the story's going now, right? Of course, yeah.
yeah, and it might be the fact that it's just like more to the backstory of the clones
Yeah.
and we might see more of that, which is like cool, like because they don't really explain a whole lot in live action, all that. So it's nice to
Yeah.
see it play out. So
I've definitely
No,
enjoyed
absolutely.
the politics of episode
yeah,
7. Even just seeing the snippets in 7 where they started off with the senators meeting, and it was very moving, besides because we've seen Senator Organa in a lot of the movies and episodes and shows, how he's spoken up
Mhm.
against injustice, but it was also nice to see that this other senator, Chi Chi, right? I think her name
yeah, I
was
I
think
think
it's
that's right. I
Chi
think
Chi
that's
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
Chuchi,
I
Yeah,
think that's right.
Chuchi. I think it was Senator Chuchi. That's what it was. I think Senator
Yeah, something
Chuchi.
like that. Yeah.
It was nice to see someone else also like speaking up and like giving a voice to the
clones.
little guy.
Yeah,
The
Mm-hmm.
clones.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No, I agree. And I haven't seen 8, but I think this was a really good episode for sure. One of the stronger episodes of the season so far.
And well, the
Um,
crazy thing
I
is
think
it
I
was
still
such a
like the
strong
last
episode.
episode a little more.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think the
only
reason I
because
was gonna say,
obviously Jedi and lightsabers, but yeah,
but
I know
the
my delay is
craziest
really
thing
horrible
is,
right now. Sorry, guys.
no, you're good.
It's all
It's
good.
crazy because the thing is that this is one of the better episodes, and we didn't even get a glimpse
Hmm.
of the Bad Batch in episode 7. I'm not sure about episode 8, but I know in
Right.
7 there wasn't even a mention of anyone on the team in the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I did love the pull of Rex coming to save the senator and killed the assassinator, I guess you would call him, the person who killed the other clone and was going to kill her. Um, but to find out that that was also a clone was also pretty.
Hmm.
I like it. But I think
What?
that was
Oh,
also
nice,
very insane.
nice.
That was a nice little twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, yeah, yeah. No, it's just I guess it was a stronger episode to me because it tied into like it had a stronger story. It felt more than just a filler
Hmm.
episode, you know.
Hmm.
Um,
I feel like it also answered some questions
Yeah.
we've had
yeah,
for the clones. Like,
yeah.
whatever happened to, the clones? What did they even think of them after the fact? And I feel like this puts a
No.
real light on the situation of what happened after Order 66. And then we knew that they started to bring in, regular people and other races into the clones, into the
No, no,
troopers.
no other races. No, all stormtroopers are human.
Oh, really?
Yes, because that was one of the things George Lucas made very clear was that they don't put the Empire does not use aliens. They are very speciesist in that
But
sense.
it
Ah,
got
okay.
into the little bit of the
Yeah.
conscription a little bit that they
Gotcha,
talked of. They
gotcha.
hinted, and
Yeah, like
maybe in another.
Thrawn being part of the Empire is
Yeah,
actually a big thing. Like that's a big because he's not human. He just looked close enough to a human with the blue skin. That was really the
Uh-huh.
only difference that they accepted him, and because he was so smart, obviously too. But yeah, Thrawn being in the Empire is actually a very it's like a big thing they talk about a lot. That he
I'm.
was the one that was given exception.
Thank you, Master Don, for enlightening me.
Uh,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
I'm hoping we
bird.
get an episode. Like, I'd be okay with a filler episode that, like, just like humans are in whatever planet they're just working, and then you see the Empire come in, and then they just get conscripted, and they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Yep, this is your life now." So
That is
Yeah,
crazy because I
whenever
didn't,
you think of the Empire, you got to think of the Nazis. That's the thing with the Empire is you have to think of the. No, I'm not trying to joke around. Because that's what literally
yeah,
George Lucas mirrored them. That's why they're called stormtroopers, because you had the Nazi stormtroopers. That's where he got the name from.
I
okay.
So
did not know that.
yeah,
That's cool.
so like
Interesting.
Yeah,
whenever I
I was
think of
gonna
the
say
Empire, I
that's a
immediately
nice
think
little
of Hitler
tidbit.
and I, yeah.
Pad,
I know way too
us
much
two
and not
Padawans
enough.
are very enlightened right now because I did not know that.
Yeah. I got you. Hey, I don't know everything though.
He says,
I
"I'm
wish I
your
knew
humble
everything, but I don't.
master." But see, in true master sensation, you were like, "I don't know everything."
No, I definitely no. I wish I did. There's so much stuff I don't know.
But
God.
yeah, I agreed. Like this episode has been a very well put together, story oriented. It wasn't all about the action and what the Bad Batch can do.
Yeah.
But I do find it odd that it was one of their better episodes and the Bad Batch was not involved. Like I said,
Yeah.
which does that
Yeah. I
mean
think this is a
the
episode.
Bad Batch isn't really like
This episode sets
themselves?
up the next episode. So
Are the
Yeah.
Bad Batch very involved in the next episode?
yeah, it carries
Okay.
over.
That
Yeah.
makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say
At least where we ended, it makes sense.
yes, where we ended and Rex is involved.
One
Right.
tidbit that I don't know that you guys noticed that kind of like tugged at my emotion strings a little bit was like you see the clones are aging a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah, did you see
Yeah.
that?
and
So you're like,
Yeah, man.
they did put an emphasis on the fact that they
yeah,
had
are
rapid
getting older.
aging
Yeah,
and that they're
Yes.
getting
Right.
older and there was I think the scene where she goes to talk to the clones in the bar and she
yeah,
says you guys because the clone was saying how he wants to be a trooper again and he wants to fight and he's like, but you guys can't fight forever. Like you may have been programmed to fight and be in these wars, but you're getting old. You need to think
Mhm.
about these later years in your life. And that was a real big dilemma, I think, for the clones themselves, because you could see a lot of them had their facial expressions changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you got to think of it this way too, because when we get to Endor, let's say episode 6,
Mhm.
that's only about 25 years after the clones have been made. So they're only about 30 years old, 25, 30 years old when we get to when we get to episode 6.
Yeah.
But yet, if you look at Rex and at it in the Endor scene, he's got the beard. Well, even in Rebels, he's got the full white beard. I mean, he looks 60, 70 years old.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
it's because of their rapid aging. But I
right.
guess
So
you
that's good.
didn't
And
really.
that's why they started recruiting humans, is because they knew they couldn't keep their
Count on the
power with the
clones
clones.
forever.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's because they kind of shot themselves in the foot when blowing up Camino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I think remember how they had those couple of other Caminos that they captured? I think that maybe they tried to duplicate what was done on Camino, and that's why you get the off
Yep.
cut assassins that aren't all quite there, maybe because maybe some of the data was lost and they're not able to quite replicate the formula, or maybe the Django Fett DNA is just so broken down they don't have much left to work with,
That's
Well, not
probably
only
the biggest thing.
Yeah. Oh, probably. Yeah. I mean, they can't have much of his DNA left, right?
Yeah.
And it's that's what I'm saying. You've duplicated it and mutated it so many times. It's so polluted now that it's is that even Jango Fett's DNA?
Yeah.
Which
So I
actually
wonder.
brings up a really interesting plot point here, because is this Dave Filoni trying to fix the sequels, the sequel trilogy?
What do you
Because
mean
think of it this way.
fix?
Yeah, what do you mean?
So,
Yeah.
well, one of the biggest with the sequel trilogy is Palpatine. and he's trying to clone himself. That's where we get Snoke.
Okay.
So
Okay, I
is
see what you're saying.
blowing up Camino, who are the premier cloners in the universe at that specific time, going to be the reason why he can't perfect cloning in the future, because he doesn't have the real expertise or knowledge of people to do it for him.
That is a very good point, and they probably didn't take the right people from Camino.
I thought he did perfect it.
Well, they
at
didn't
the
take anybody
end.
from Camino, because if you look at, look at the scientist in Mandalorian is the head of he's part of the cloning. He's the head of the cloning
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you
division for
can't
the
take
Empire.
everyone, and you can't take all the data you need if you blow up the home base.
Well, no,
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying.
So-
But he tries to use only human scientists at that point. He doesn't use other outside species scientists. The only people close to Palpatine are humans and Sith. That's it. That's the only people close to Palpatine is humans and
Well,
Sith.
and that blue guy. Remember the
Well,
blue
Thorn-
guy?
Yeah, Thorn.
Well,
Not
Thrawn, but
Thor.
Thrawn's, I think he's a brilliant strategist.
Thrawn.
The guy that speaks for him. In
Oh,
the
you're talking about
political sphere there.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know. I forget his name.
No,
I know
but
what
that
you're
you got to remember, that's before he's Palpatine. That's before he's Emperor Palpatine. He's still Senator, so he has to play nice at that point with everybody.
I mean, he's still
Once he's Emperor,
basically.
he doesn't have
Well,
to play
right
nice
now
anymore.
he is Emperor Palpatine,
Yeah,
and he still does
yeah.
have in the Bad Batch. He is Emperor Palpatine
Because he's
and he
still
does
holding
have
up that
blue
persona. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, yes,
That
But
all goes
isn't
away
he
very
in-
soon, though. That all goes away
But
very soon.
isn't that guy on the? I swear to God, he's on the the council speaking area in the sequels.
well, he
In the
in the
prequels, I
lore
mean.
and everything, he's kept around
Mhm.
because of that. He's still by his side from when he goes from Chancellor to Emperor, and I guess he builds up that
Are we
trust
talking
a
the guy with
little
the
bit.
horns on the end
Yeah,
of his?
yeah.
The one
Yeah,
with
that's
the
who we're
that's
talking about.
Ahsoka's
Yeah.
race.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. That's the guy, but you know why? I know his story also. No, I do. I know his story also.
He
In the
pays him
comics,
good
he's
too.
the one that throws. Well, he pays him good, but he's the one that throws all the. He's the one that leads. He's basically the face of Palpatine
Oh,
on
yeah, that's
Coruscant
right.
at that point, because
Yeah.
that's after he was burnt and after was electrocuted and he's got all the scars on his face. So, but that guy is the one that gives the big speech about the Jedi and throws all the Jedi lightsabers in the fire and burns them.
Okay.
So he's been with Palpatine since the beginning.
For a long time, yeah.
He's in episode 1, I think. He's even in episode
Yes.
1. Like he's been with
So is
Palpatine
he like
forever.
one of the few aliens that he actually trusts?
He's one of the very few aliens right now that Palpatine is allowing to be around him. Yes, because once he becomes like you have to remember too, he's still new at being Emperor right now.
Yeah.
This just happened, so he hasn't made all the changes he wants to make yet. Like the next 5 years is when he basically he gets rid of the clones because they cost too much money. And he brings in only humans, and because he thinks humans are dispensable. Because he uses aliens for other things, like he uses the Mun for banking. He uses he uses all the other alien species, but he doesn't let them in the Empire. They're not allowed to be in the Empire itself. Like they're not allowed to be officers or soldiers or anything like that. They're only allowed to do the government part. That's why you never see an alien in any movie in a role of like the Empire or New Order.
I didn't realize that because I remember hearing that they started taking people that weren't clones, and I just automatically assumed that it would just be all races and all species and everything.
Yeah.
And I guess I never really thought about, them not actually showing people who weren't of human or just that kind of DNA. And I remember seeing Thrawn, but like you said, Thrawn looked enough like a human, just blue, that he was able to have that access of power.
Well, plus he basically defeated the Emperor with strategy, and that's why the Emperor trusts him.
How so?
Well, they were trying to go after him at first. They were going after him at first, and then he didn't beat them, but he didn't get caught and he didn't die. So the Emperor was like, "Bring him to me. I want to see and they had a conversation, and the Emperor's like, "Oh, you're way too smart. I can't kill you.
Yeah, he went to work for him.
You're
and,
way too
God.
smart."
yeah.
Did they show that
You're
in
way-
Rebels?
No,
Comics,
that's legends
comics
and stuff.
and the
Yeah,
books.
that's from the
Yeah.
original Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get the
I am
books
not
in.
well-versed.
and
Yeah,
read more
again,
about
there's
it.
exceptions to the rule, but like I
Yeah.
said, when it comes to the actual Empire and putting on a uniform, you have to be a human. Yeah, that was George Lucas, though.
We'll see what Disney does if they change it.
Yeah,
But no, I'm excited
I mean,
for.
there's a lot of stuff they can do with it.
Yeah.
Because look, if you're cloning people to make an army, why are you cloning humans when there's like the Zeb species out there?
Yes, that's
Why
what I'm
wouldn't you
saying.
clone
There's
a bunch
so
of them?
much more, and that's why I think I didn't even put second thought into it, because I was like, there's so many more versatile and stronger,
Yeah,
species out there than just fucking humans.
dude, clone a bunch of little Yodas to just go out
Straight
there and
the fuck
destroy
up.
people. Destroy people.
Yeah.
Like,
What
you
the hell?
will
Just see a
fight
bunch of
for
little spinny
us.
green things coming at you. Yeah, screw that shit. I'm like, I don't want to fight them. No, I'm good.
But now, well, is that the thing? Like, but Yoda species can't. I don't think all of their species can do that, can they? Is like he can only do that because he's a
Well,
Jedi.
no, but his species is
Particularly force sensitive. Yeah.
force sensitive.
Okay.
So if you could clone them, they would probably be force sensitive to a point at least.
Okay.
So the whole history of Dagobah
And if
was
you
that
if you accelerated their aging, it wouldn't matter because they lived 800 years old, so they would get somewhat of probably 100, 120 years at least out of them, even with the accelerated aging.
the whole story behind Dagobah is that, like, I believe it was like a Sith or like there was an evil entity there, and that Go-1
Yeah, it's a
came
dark
in
planet.
and took it over, and then out of that forest, Yoda species evolves, and then they just become really force sensitive.
Okay. So now,
Well, yeah, Dagobah is a dark planet. That's why he goes there to hide from the dark side, because he knew it would cover up his force, his power, basically.
okay. Excuse me for being ignorant, but where is his species?
We don't know.
Yeah,
In
We
all
don't
of
know.
this,
it
and
never
The only
says.
three that we know exist are Yoda, Yaddle, and
Yaddle,
Grogu. Those are the only three that we know.
Yep.
I know of
exist.
Yaddle and Grogu. Yes. Okay.
And maybe someday we'll get an explanation
And
of
Yaddle was
where the
Yoda's
others
love
are.
interest, correct?
Which I still believe that I don't know if they were a love interest, but think of it this way: Yoda is a very super old person, but very smart. He is very wise.
Yeah.
So if he knew that him and Yaddle were the only two left of his species, I could see him saying, not out of love, but just out of, we need to keep our species going. We need to make a baby. I
So
could
do
see
you
that
think
decision. from him.
Grogu is a descendant of Yoda?
I personally do, yes.
Do you think they'll ever explain it, like via
Probably.
like
Yeah.
Mandalorian or
Yeah.
more seasons?
Well, we're going to
or
get the
more
flashback
shows?
of him being saved. So if Yoda's
Him
the one
being- what
running
do you
out of the
mean?
temple with him,
Oh,
well,
this
that
season we're
flashback
gonna
scene
get
of
the
the-
flashback?
Yeah, no,
well, they
there's
have it
a
in the trailer.
Yeah,
In the trailer, they show it.
flashback to Order 66.
The
Yeah.
scene with the four Jedi standing there, that's in the temple, so that had to be that's a flashback for sure. And we
But
know that
Yoda-
Anakin's in it.
But when Order 66 happens, Yoda is on
The
Of
Kashyyyk,
course
I
not. Standing in
think.
front of the temple.
No.
No, he's in
He's
Kashyyyk,
on
remember?
Kashyyyk.
And goes right to Coruscant and meets up with Obi-Wan in Clone Wars. Remember? We see that he fights with episode 3. He leaves Kashyyyk and goes to Coruscant and meets up with Obi-Wan in front of the temple after Anakin destroyed the temple. And they go inside, and that's when Obi-Wan sees the hologram.
Oh, that's
of
right. They're there for
Anakin
a
killing
brief.
him.
Yeah,
And
they're
then
there
they
for
go-
a brief moment. Then Obi-Wan
then
goes
they
to
go-
Mustafar to fight Anakin,
Fight
That's-
Anakin.
and Yoda goes to Dagobah, I think.
So
Okay.
Yoda could have already went to the temple, so saved Grogu, and then met Obi-Wan.
Yeah, we don't know, so we'll find out.
Okay.
We don't know.
Um,
because I was gonna say I remember when it happened exactly when Order 66 was made.
Mhm.
He
Oh, he was
was
on Kashyyyk
with
when
the
it happened.
Wookiees
Yes,
on Kashyyyk.
Yeah, yeah.
correct. Yes,
Okay.
but shortly after he went, because remember him and it's him, Chewbacca, and the other one. They run, and he gets in that pod and leaves, and then they go to
Yes.
Coruscant real quick.
Okay. Because I remember him getting the
Which
pod,
I'm
but I
so
don't.
glad they put you at that point. I'm just happy that Chewbacca was actually part of this prequel trilogy.
Am I the only one that really wants like a story of Chewie when he's like younger?
That'd be cool. Like a
Yes.
flashback or
Yes,
something.
Like I just
Yeah.
want like Chewie in his younger years, figuring out his shit, being lost
Mhm.
in space or some shit, and then he
Yep.
finds Han, and then he get like, or you see him get captured, and then he finds Han, and then that starts the next shit.
But circling back to the
Yeah,
episode,
one of the
guys,
greatest lines from
anything-
Han Solo is when he's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, finish your thing. I was just going to ask you like anything else that stuck out to note, but just
Oh,
yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Don. Sorry.
no, you're good, man. I was just gonna say that one of my favorite scenes from Han Solo is when he's talking to Chewie and he's like, "So what's your name?" And he, growls out his name and he's like, "Well, that's way too long. I'm not calling you that." I love
I
that
remember
part.
that.
That's-
Yeah.
I
'cause
did
we-
like
yeah.
Han Solo. Like Han Solo was a good movie. I think so.
I love the movie Solo if it wasn't called Solo. If it was
I
about
think so,
any other
yep.
bounty hunter, I think it would have been a better received movie. But because you put the name in there and then you give him the worst way to get his name, like, no, I'm sorry.
Oh no! I agree that
I will.
100%. But the movie, all in all, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, the movie's
I
no, it's a
enjoyed
good
it
movie.
too. Yeah.
No, it's a good movie.
It
I'll
got
never
too
say it's a
much
bad
hate,
movie.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It definitely got a lot of hate.
I
But I
just
do
don't
agree.
feel like he's Han
The way
Solo.
that he
just
got
doesn't
his
feel-
name, the way he got
Yeah,
his
it's
name
stupid.
was a bit stupid. What clan are you
Not to
from?
mention, we never got the Crimson Dawn
Solo?
spinoff, so screw them. Screw them for not giving us the Crimson Dawn spinoff.
Yes.
Screw them.
I
That's such a
just
missed
wanted
opportunity
more
with
fucking
Darth Maul.
Childish Gambino as fucking.
Oh, I want that too. Well, we were supposed to get a Lando series with both of them in it, where it was going to be him now and having flashbacks.
Like that'd be a great Lando like Lando as Childish Gambino was, or Donald Glover, whatever you want to call him, was great.
Yeah.
Like that was
agree.
fucking perfect. Like he was
Best
so
casting,
charismatic.
Best casting in the movie. Best casting in the movie other than Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson as Beckett was perfect. I love Woody Harrelson. So
also, I was gonna say, let's be real. Like, what Woody Harrelson role don't you like?
Dude, when he's in when he popped up in War of the Planet of the Apes, I was like, yes, give me Woody Harrelson. And he's all bald and he's just shaving his. I'm like, yes, the Woody.
Woody Harrelson in anything is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Just
dude,
put
one
him
of the
in
first
more
movies
Star
I ever
Wars
saw with
shit.
him, and it was. Dude, I remember watching White Man Can't Jump and just being like, "Holy crap, these two dudes!"
Yes, that is such a good movie.
These are so funny.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
Like,
and then Quince. It's a Quince.
Yeah.
I love fucking, what's her name? Yeah. No. I mean, I think overall though this episode is definitely strong, but I now knowing that there's more coming in the next episode to tie into it, I sort of feel that exactly that is that I didn't get exactly what I was supposed to get out of this episode. Do you know what I mean? Not that
it'll all make sense.
It's a great episode.
Yeah,
right,
it'll all make sense in the next episode. And then I think this will be your 1, 2, and then the Gunji will be 3 for you guys, or in the top 3. But no, I'm excited for the rest of the season. I hope they I hope Crosshair gets a redemption.
So let me ask you this,
arc.
Noah. Do you think if you haven't? Let me ask you this real quick, Noah. If you haven't seen episode 8 yet, is this as strong of an episode for you just by itself?
I think
being
so,
where you were before you saw it,
just because of the intrigue. Maybe because it's a little darker. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
100%.
I guess maybe because it
Oh, it's
feels like a
definitely
little more
marketable.
action, like people are doing something. Other, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's not.
I
Yeah,
think
it's not Adventure of the Week with the same thing going on. Yeah,
I think
no,
the
I'm with
filler
you.
episodes would have been a little more meaningful if it showed like Omega learning something, but I just didn't get that, you know? Like I just
Yeah.
felt
Yeah,
like they were doing something fun or
I feel like other like
which is what was great
besides
about Rebels.
well, I think besides Omega, they they like to show so they show Crosshair's development a bit. They
Mhm.
show Tech's development a bit.
Mhm.
Um and I feel like they might have given Hunter a bit of an arc a little in the one episode where they're in the temple, kind of. Um
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like everything has been so unoriented around Omega where it's like I feel like they've set
Yeah.
up the show to be around like yes the Bad Batch but like
But around her, yeah.
around her like
Yeah.
she I feel like is the main protagonist
But
in this show
if
Yes.
but they
that's the
haven't given her
case,
much growth.
if that yeah, yeah, if that's the case, then like the filler episodes, why aren't you like even if it's
Right.
like okay with the bow, she's getting a little bit better with her bow, with her tracking skills, and maybe they hinted at it a little bit, but like overall, it, it
Well,
until
they
these
definitely
last
show her, you
Yeah.
know,
3 episodes just
better with the
didn't do it
bow,
for
but
me.
it's just
Yeah,
like that's not what we all want to see. We want to see what makes her special. What is the
Yes.
real things that she why is she a special clone? Why is
Right.
she a part of the
yeah.
Bad Batch?
Right.
But because of this episode and that assassin guy, I'm hoping one we get like a couple more episodes of the defense conscription bill going into and it shows the like actual
Mm-hmm.
humans getting conscripted in.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they find a cloning facility and then they actually see like what's going on. But it has it plays the Emperor Palpatine's theme music, so then it's like we know that's connected to the sequels because we know that's him experimenting.
Right. Right.
By the end, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't, but I'm excited.
They can go a lot of
Yeah.
directions with
Yep.
this season. As of right now, with what we saw, they could link together Gungi's fucking
Yeah.
story with more of the Bad Batch, and or they can continue on with this political, outspeak on the clones and what they're working
Yeah.
on that way. But I don't know what would be more of a compelling story, to be
Yeah.
honest, because I feel like everyone loves a good Jedi's tale, but also
Yeah.
the whole stormtroopers deal adds a lot of
It's becoming good
answers some
too. Yeah.
questions
A meaning. Yeah.
of exactly it's
Yeah.
meaningful and it answers some questions that we all had about like what has happened with the clones and what happened to them as a people, because I feel like the clones
Mm-hmm.
themselves are a race, you know.
I'm surprised that senator didn't die. Like, like she got so lucky.
Literally, but like that
Oh,
also
okay. So
adds
I have
questions.
two
It's like
two
what
quick
happens to
things.
her.
Two quick
Okay.
things. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was
Yeah,
just
no,
saying
I
like
was gonna
what
say about
happens to
her.
her.
Yeah. So I have a theory. I think she is. I think they've already casted her in live action. That's why she has the accent.
Oh, the
You think so?
senator or
No, no, Omega,
Omega.
Omega,
Omega. Okay.
Omega. Yeah,
Okay.
I think she's going to be in live action at some point in one of his shows. The other thing is this story, like both have said, it should have been focused on her because she
Yeah.
is the wild card here. We know about the Bad Batch. We got a lot about the
Yep.
Bad Batch in Clone Wars. We know who they are. We know pretty much their backstory.
Yep.
So we this show should have been focused on her. And this is the one time, and I will say this: this is the one and only time I've really felt like this, where Dave Filoni is telling a story, but this is what he's doing the whole time. When I tell you, you're gonna be crazy about it, but I'm not gonna give you like, do you know what I mean? Like every episode seems like he has a chance to like really dive into her story and like give us some
But he
stuff,
doesn't.
and then
Yeah.
he's like, but when I do, But when I do, it's gonna be crazy. But right now, this is the story I want to tell you. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
I
you've
kind of
never
like the
even with
story.
Grogu, you
Yeah,
didn't wait this long to tell us who the hell he is.
yeah.
Like, just tell us who she is. Like, we're in the middle of season 2 and we still don't really know who she is,
The
or at least
Or
why
where
she's
where
special.
she's gone. And I feel like that's the biggest thing is like
Yeah,
she's a
yeah.
child right now. She has many, many, many years ahead of her as long as she
Mhm.
survives these seasons. But like what becomes of her? Like she at least give us hints. Give us
with
something.
without going into too much detail, the next episode, like it brings up Camino and it shows it
Mhm.
gives more to her. Like I feel like it gave a little more to her character development and like how she's
Okay.
feeling.
That's
Okay,
hopeful.
fair enough. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like to hear that.
but I
No,
mean it's
again,
the
I just,
overarching
I
clone. Sorry,
yeah. No, I was just saying. I think
yeah,
her story is the story we're supposed to be getting out of this. And
yeah,
like you guys, as much as I do love this show, I can absolutely see that we're just not getting enough of her story the way we normally do with these type of characters, especially
yeah,
from Filoni.
And I
So,
feel like the first season, even though it was very minor, we did get, character development from her and like her understanding that, I'm not just a child anymore. I am a part of a troop. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
she like kind
hmm
of got away from those childish antics and like way of thinking and like she got more part of the team and we haven't gotten really much of that in this season within even the 7 episodes that we've seen.
and maybe because
hmm
it's a 16 episode season, he's
I think it's too
gonna
much
build
for
up
this
to
show. I
that.
think it's too
Yeah,
many for this show.
yeah,
I
But
think
then
12
again,
would
like
probably
I
be the
said,
better.
I've said this in the last one. I feel like he's going to end up tying all these what we think are filler episodes together into a masterpiece.
I think so too. But by themselves, they're just filler episodes.
100%. But I think
I
Filoni
just hope,
himself has always been a bigger picture kind of guy. So I
yeah.
feel like he's going to end up setting this up. I feel like we're going to be really impressed with episodes, I want to say 10 through 16,
Well,
if
I've
not episodes 13 through 16.
Well, I feel like you get to 8, right? And this is the season halfway season finale, and that's why they did the
hmm
2 episodes. I feel like after that, you probably how many filler episodes would you say we had so far? 3, 3, 4?
Three,
No,
I'd
yeah.
say three.
Three,
I'd say
three and
three
a
three.
half,
solid
maybe.
filler
Yeah.
episodes,
So
probably
hmm
3.5,
so
almost
maybe
4.
I feel like they're going to have 3.5 more filler, and maybe it goes to Sid betraying them, and
hmm
then it goes back into this other story that they're trying to tell as well. So I mean, I
Yeah.
guess
That's
we'll
Yeah.
see.
another good thing. I feel like we haven't even heard much about Sid and
You got
everything like
Crosshair
that.
too. I mean,
Right.
what's going on with them?
There is a
Right.
lot that they're
So,
having open, and I just wish they
Yeah,
probably
but
would have
this,
gone
but
like one
you
solid
know, I just think about
storyline.
Andor too. But we just got Andor, where literally, and again, this doesn't have to be dark like Andor or anything like that. I don't mind like the kiddie feel of the show, but
yeah,
the storytelling is just so much tighter. It's just so
and Andor,
everything matters
yeah.
in that show. Even the filler episodes matter, and it
Oh
feels
god,
like they
guys,
matter
this pad one
as they're
has to go take
happening.
a tinkle. I'll be right back.
All right.
You do,
Um,
no problem. Do you know what I mean though? Like I think of like that first episode when he goes to prison in Andor. That's kind of a filler episode,
was Dave Filoni
but
and
it
those
gives
guys
us
in Andor?
no,
Were they?
no, not
So
that,
that's
not Andor,
see,
no.
that's different writers,
And that's
and
what I mean
director.
though. Like but he has his style, and it's worked in the past. I don't feel like it works anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, I
I
guess
think people are past that type of storytelling where like even Mandalorian, like yes, Mandalorian is definitely adventure of the week. But every episode you get main storyline too that connects through every episode. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
and I
and
guess
I
we'll
don't feel
see
like
if it
he's doing that well
continues.
with this. Yeah.
And maybe he created this while focusing on Mandalorian season
Oh,
3.
that's
So
hey, look, he's probably
maybe
busy
the
as shit
effort
right
for this,
now. Yeah,
maybe the effort in writing, he was just like, whatever, except for the main stuff where he was like, okay, get this in, get this in, get this in.
sure.
But I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, I guess if this tanks, I don't know how the reviews for the whole season will go as a whole, but if this tanks, maybe they get
Yeah.
some different direction. I guess when Jason
And
gets
again,
back,
I really like this show. Don't get me wrong. Like, I
yeah,
really do like this show
I do
overall.
too.
But this isn't the strongest Star Wars show right now, and this isn't really the
Yeah,
strongest Star Wars property we've ever got, even from him.
yeah, and like you
So,
said,
like,
when Mandalorian season 3
Clone Wars is
starts,
focused on Ahsoka.
yeah,
Yeah. What are we gonna do? But Clone Wars is definitely Ahsoka's series. Like, even
Just
though
like
we
yeah,
have
a
Anakin,
little
even though we have
Padawan.
Obi-Wan, but that's Ahsoka's series. And then Mandalorian, that's Grogu and Mandalorian's series, but that's that he always has those characters that he focuses on. Where I feel like
What did I
Omega,
miss?
he is just not doing it. Like, he's just not doing it the way he normally does.
because
Even
like,
Rebels is an Ezra show. That
yeah,
show is about Ezra. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
because I feel like you bring up the Bad Batch, you're like, okay, it's a special group, and then you put Omega in there for a reason, right?
Yes.
So what
But
is
this is
that
an
reason?
Omega show, like it should be, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not her show like it
100%.
should be.
But
It's
if you
definitely
called it Omega, you wouldn't watch the Bad Batch for Omega.
Oh no, they could still call it
No,
the
no, no.
Bad Batch.
100%.
Yeah,
But
like the
he's
Mandalorian is
saying that like
Mandalorian, but
what
Grogu's the draw.
he says what we've been giving has not been like Omega's show.
Yeah,
Like, and that's what I feel like like Don said, that's what he set it up to be.
That
It was
is what they
supposed to
kind of
be.
felt. At least first season, it felt like they were going to tell the story of why this girl is so special, why
yeah,
her and Boba Fett are so special, especially, but her especially
Yeah.
why she's special.
and I
So
think we're
yeah,
still waiting for
and
that. Yeah,
right. That's what I said. It feels like Filoni's like, I'm gonna tell you, but oh, wait a minute, not yet. Oh, not. Oh, here's a little tiny crumb. No.
and
Oh, wait a minute. It's
I
like,
feel like
come
maybe
on, dude,
if we
just
would
give
have
it to
known
me.
that, the Book of Boba Fett might have had a little more meaning than the train wreck we got.
For sure.
How how do you screw that up where you could connect that and bring her into season 2 of Boba Fett? Like, if they did it
Yeah,
right,
Yeah.
they could have brought her in as his new like second in command.
well,
You know what I mean?
that even, or they could have shown them together in a flashback, and they didn't. But whatever.
Man, I want
I'm
to see that
sure.
meeting. Like, there's no way he made this Boba Fett's sister, and has no plans to make them meet at some point. Like, I just
sure.
can't believe that.
I imagine
can't believe
since
that.
the actor for Boba Fett is getting older, we'll either get them as a like he's really old and then she's like in her 30s or some shit, or we'll get them seen together on the animated version and we'll see
Right, it'll
her
be
in
animated,
her
I think.
probably
Yeah.
teenage years and then her meeting up with Boba Fett at some point.
Like I said, I do think she's cast live action. I just don't know where she shows up live action yet.
Yeah.
I just don't see where he could put her yet, unless it's Boba Fett season 2. Like I said, that to me would make the most sense.
They might.
If he had Fennec Shand on one side of him and Omega on the other, and it's just him sitting on that throne, dude, I will tattoo that on my forehead. I will freaking tattoo that shit on my forehead.
Don, you can't
I'm
come to
dead
work
serious.
like that.
No,
I'm telling you right now, please don't come to
but I'm
work like
serious.
that.
Like, that would be the greatest thing. It's like the scene from it's a Boba Fett. Yeah, from Boba Fett, where we get Luke and Ahsoka having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how bad I just want to see literally like a 2-episode miniseries of just that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, literally a 2-hour like miniseries of just them two talking. That's all I want. All I want. No lightsabers, nothing. Just them two talking. There's so much that can happen in that conversation in 2 hours. So much.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, guys. You want to give final thoughts? And we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up.
Yeah, I think so.
Final
we're just kind of
thoughts
rambling off.
are
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it all together.
final thoughts are.
It's all good.
I'm very
as well,
hopeful.
bud.
This episode has made me very hopeful for the remainder of the season. Episode 7, that is, not
Yes.
episode 8. It is
Yeah.
made me think that there's more actual plot for us to see within the next 9 episodes, or at least 9 episodes. And yeah, like I said, the way that they actually showed the political aspects of the clones and someone actually sticking up for them, and the kind of, I want to say, clone on clone crime, where they had the assassination and then Rex protecting, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a very big dynamic between the clones as well as between the government aspect of it that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I really do like this show overall. My fear is that I'm not going to be interested in season 2 if they don't give us Omega's story by the end. Like, I at least want to know where it's going. What can I at least expect in season 3? If I'm not going to get it in this season, what can I at least expect from her story in season 3? Because honestly, I don't know if I can do another season of literally just the Bad Batch, doing every episode like this. Now, again, episodes like this I love, but I this just doesn't seem like a Rebels. This doesn't seem like a Clone Wars to me. It doesn't have the same feeling that those had.
Well,
and
Noah, does episode 8
want to watch
tie it up well enough where you're like, this pertains to Omega a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. But like Don said, I don't know what after this season they had to tell. So like, it'd be very hard.
What can they do? Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They have to set it up
season
big.
3 is the Omega season. You know what I mean? Like, season 3 is the Omega season, wherever it's 8 episodes and every episode.
Yeah, or it's just her and Hunter, and Hunter's trying, like, they're all dying off. I don't know, but I guess we'll see by the end.
Yeah,
so
that's the big thing.
And again, we're not going to really hope I hope he can stick this landing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, I really hope he can stick this landing, because I do love Filoni's animation. I do like his style and what he does with animation. It's just, I don't think this is as strong as Rebels, and it's definitely not as strong as Clone Wars to me.
No,
for sure. Yep.
Clone Wars is a hard reach. Clone Wars is a fucking hard reach. They hit the nail on the head. He doesn't have to hit that level, but
yeah. And again, he doesn't have to hit that level again. But like I said, I knew where Clone Wars was going, or at least I had an understanding of the story as it was unfolding. I knew where Rebels was going. I understood the story as it was unfolding, and I knew why we took certain episodes to just train Ezra, or we took certain episodes to just sit on this planet. I understood those episodes because we did get his story, fleshed out. Where again, this one just doesn't feel like that.
Do you think that we will get those episodes?
Oh, I think eventually, yes. But again, like you said, we don't know what Filoni's dealing with right now. He might be too stretched out to really write, focus on the story the way he wants to. Again, maybe going to 12 episodes is not a bad idea, because there are a lot of stretches, even in the good stuff, where it's like, yeah, but I didn't need to know any of that. And I didn't really, really need.
But I don't know why. I honestly do believe that they will tie it all together. Like, I have faith in Filoni and his aspects on story and arc, that I have enough faith that at the end of this, we'll understand why we got each one of those filler episodes. And I swear to God, Filoni, if I eat my fucking words by the end of this season, I'm coming after you.
Yeah.
You're still our guy, Filoni. You're still my guy, Filoni. I do trust Filoni. I do. Like I said, this one just doesn't have. I don't feel the same as I did watching those other ones, as far as the story goes, and like what the focus is of the show. Like, honestly, I really couldn't tell you what the focus is of this show at this point.
I 100%,
because there's a lot of things they're trying to tell you, and it's a lot of random things going on. Just a lot of random.
Like I said, they've touched on Gungi, crosshairs, tech, now the clones and the government issues. And I feel like we might have had, that's 4 episodes, and I feel like we might have gotten 2 that might have been real character development for Omega.
Yeah, I think like 3.5, I think. So
yeah.
Guess we'll see, guys.
Again, guys, Noah, give us your last thoughts, man. What are your last overall thoughts?
I think just what you guys said. I really do love this art style. So I mean, even if the Bad Batch ends this season, I hope he continues it through another project because
Yeah,
I do love it. Like I think it's so cool. It's very unique. Um,
and this is a
it's
great time period to tell
yeah.
stories too. So
Yes.
Episode
yeah,
7 and 8, like I think
yeah,
probably my top two, just because the storytelling was just spot on for me.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
makes me hopeful. I mean, yeah, there'll probably be a couple more filler episodes between now and the end of the season, but
sure.
I mean, I'm sure it'll go out with a bang. So
I'm hopeful that we get a lot more content and less
yeah,
fillers in the last half because I
Yeah,
want, at least my hopes are that Filoni takes the time to explain a lot of what he's already set up and actually explains it all to us and lets us know what he's been thinking this entire time.
yeah,
Because as of right now, even with episode 7, as good of an episode it is, I'm still left clueless.
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, guys, we don't have to worry about that because in 3 weeks, Mandalorian comes out, and we all
yeah,
know it's going to be freaking amazing, and I cannot
yeah.
wait for
Have a
that.
lot to talk about. Yep.
See, that's yes, that's when
Mandalorian.
we'll be. Our episodes are gonna have to be an hour long because we'll have Bad Batch and the
Oh, there's
Mandalorian
going
to
to be
talk about,
super,
and
So
there's gonna
much.
super,
be
Yep.
super.
so much Star Wars to talk about.
I'm excited.
Um, just, for everybody out there, including my two co-hosts, you guys don't know, but Mandalorians are my favorite thing in the world to talk
Yes,
about. So this season for me is like it's like nerd freaking heaven, dude. Like we're getting
especially
everything
since
about
they're
Mandalore and
going to
Mandalorians.
Mandalore, the last
Uh,
planet.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
it's gonna be so amazing to see what has happened after the planet has been
dude.
glassed, and actually their civilization after the fact.
if they bring a mythosaur, oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose it. Show me a giant dinosaur on live action
Dude,
TV.
Mandalorian will ride a mythosaur. The Mandalorian will ride a mythosaur. Absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait. He's going to be king of Mandalore, dude. He is going to be king of Mandalore.
You think so? Pedro Pascal himself,
He has the dark
our
saber.
Lord and
Bo-Katan is
Savior.
not going to fight him for it. Bo-Katan can't fight him for it. I mean,
He
challenge
does.
him,
Oh,
but
that's right.
she's not
Yes, he
just going
does
to
have the
kill him.
lightsaber.
She's not just going to kill him. She has to challenge him formally, and it's going to be on Mandalore in front of Mandalorians. She ain't going to take that chance of losing that fight. She's not going to take that chance. She's going to bow down. She's going to bow down. She has to. Either that, or he's going to try to give it to her again, and she's going to take it this time, like she did last time, which I still don't understand that plot hole. She was
She can't
given the
take that.
lightsaber by Sabine.
She can't take it.
She was given the lightsaber by Sabine. Sabine handed it to her, did not fight her for it. She handed it to her.
That's right.
Sabine beat what's his name for the dark saber, and then she was like, "Well, now you rule Mandalore." She's like, "I don't want to rule Mandalore." She's like, "Here you go," and she took it and had no problem taking it then. But then when the Mandalorian's like here, she's like, "No, I can't take it." Like, nah, come on, there's more to that. Filoni's gonna have
Maybe
to
because
really explain that.
they. Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to justify it, but I
So,
can't.
dude, I'm saying? Like,
I was
like my
trying.
dream show. I've said this so many times, but my dream show is a Mandalorian Game of Thrones show. I want
That'd be
that
dope.
so bad.
That
I
would be
want it
dope.
so bad.
It would just be a bunch of
So bad.
helmets talking to each other.
Go back to the beginning of the dark saber and tell that story of the Mandalorians fighting over the dark saber for
Well, they would
hundreds
also
of
have
years.
to, and if they do that, they would have to talk about the first Mandalorian that was a Jedi.
That's what I'm
wasn't.
saying. Tell that
I was
story.
going to say that was the first person to be to wield the
Tar
dark
Vizsla.
saber, correct?
Tar Vizsla.
He was
Yes.
a
He is-
Jedi
he
as
is
well.
He's
And
the
he
only
was a
man. He's the only
non-force
Mandalorian to ever
wielding
be a
Jedi.
Jedi.
Right? He was a
Only
non-force
Mandalorian.
wielding Jedi.
No, he was a real Jedi. He was the only Mandalorian to ever have the Force.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought he was a non-force.
At least that we
wielding Jedi.
know of. Well, technically, Grogu's a Mandalorian. I still I want him in the Mandalorian suit so bad.
Oh yeah, I've seen
All right,
so
guys,
many
let's-
fucking fan arts. It's great.
Oh,
Let's wrap up,
so
guys.
great. All right, guys, I can ramble about this forever. Sorry.
You and me
All right,
both.
guys, this
Don.
has been a great show.
Thanks for joining us.
Please, yes, thanks for joining us. Tell everybody where they can find you guys. I know Noah has. What do you have now? Instagram.
I'm just pretty much here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the one that.
Oh.
has
Yeah,
Instagram.
Jason's the one working on the
Oh,
Instagram.
Jason. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, working
Jason,
on the
where can they find
Instagram.
you, sir?
Padawan Frito on the Insta, and you can find me here Wednesday at the Jedi Academy. You can find me on the Sunday episodes for sure. I've been sitting in on some of the Friday episodes. Just find me here on the show. Like and subscribe.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. I am Jedi Master Tuck. You guys can find me on Twitter at Jedi Master Tuck. You guys can find me here pretty much every day of the week on Multiverse of Geekdom. Look for me in the Facebook groups, Multiverse of Geekdom, and the guys. Please don't forget about Embers. We have so many people helping us out over there.
Yes.
But yes, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. We are on our mission to 1,000 subscribers, so please join us for that. And we will see you guys next time. May the Force be with you all.